the bummer part about it. It's an amazing system because it allows us to keep going. It allows us to survive. It's that survival part of what we've got. But it doesn't allow us to see these smaller details sometimes. Okay? One story I oftentimes share related to this is when I was in chiropractic college, we did dissections of the body, full body, front and back, everything. I'm not going into any more details than that on it, though. But with regard to this, when we did dissection, obviously as a chiropractor, we dissected the spine. So we would dissect the spine at one point. We'd see the nerves that are coming out. The next part of the day, we'd go back and we look at the different organs. So at some point, we would see when there are areas in the spine that have had trauma. The result of trauma in the spine shows up as degeneration. Degeneration is when that disc narrows, you get that bony growth around the bone spurs, osteophytes. Okay? So when that occurred, we would trace that nerve out. Okay? When that nerve had pressure on it, it had actually shriveled up. So rather than being a healthy, thick nerve, it was actually fairly string-like. We follow that out and trace it to the organ that it went to. And that organ, 100% of the time, was either diseased, atrophied, or it was gone. Okay? So it's a powerful connection. It's a connection that I relate with my patients because I think it's important to know. It's not something that you can feel. Okay? At one point, the most classic example was I had a 82-year-old gentleman come in. He came shuffling in, and he sat down with me and he said, Dr. Olsen, the only reason I'm here is because my girlfriend told me to come in. I said, great. So his spine was fused. You know, everything was locked up. He could barely move. And during the course of talking to him, he told me basically his kidneys were shutting down, his digestion was shutting down, his heart was shutting down. So all of these systems in his body were shutting down. Were they just wearing out? Okay? They can wear out. I mean, our bodies take use over time. Okay? But from that connection that I saw in the anatomy lab, I had a fairly strong certainty that it was because of that spinal degeneration that occurred. So, developing these, again, hidden traumas,